That's right, y'all. We back on the scene to pull the lesson out. This is Gaming Looks Good, episode number 29, and we are talking about Watch Dogs 2. Now, this is the show where we take one game and we look at it from the lens of diversity, race, gender, and sexuality. Those are the angles that we're looking at. That's the lens that I'm using, not these lenses. You notice the nasty, like, reflection off of them, but, you know, I'm trying. I'm in the new office, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make it work. So I would try to do it without glasses, but then I'll be blind and I wouldn't be able to read my notes, so that would not be a good thing. But if you want to check out the rest of my videos, the previous 28 videos on games like Life is Strange, like Mafia 3, like Battlefield Hardline, Box Boy, if you can believe it, on the 3DS, then make sure that you go to gaminglooksgood.com or at gaminglooksgood on Twitter. And you can also follow my personal account at Shareef Jackson. So let's dig right into it, y'all. I was really excited for Watch Dogs 2. Part of it was because there's a black protagonist, and the other part of it was because it's in a brand new city, San Francisco, vibrant, diverse, all that stuff. And they also claim to fix a lot of the issues I had with Watch Dogs 1, which was the horrible mission design, the overly serious tone, and just the really boring main character. You know, so I was really excited to see Marcus, the main character of this, be a very cool mix of being a nerd, being cool, and being conscious. Those are not mutually different things, right? They can all be in one person. Most of us in the black community are like that. So let's just give a deep dive into Marcus before we hit up the rest of the people in the game, because he is a centerpiece. So let's check Marcus out.
Or I could just...
All right, so right off the bat, my man does what every person of color wishes they could do: log into, you know, this Big Brother kind of server called CTOS in this game, and erase your criminal record. And the crazy thing is, he didn't even really have one. Like his criminal records there were things like got a parking ticket but paid it, legally owns a gun, you know what I'm saying? All these things that are perfectly legal, but yet this still built up as his criminal record in this profiling tool. So let's see a little bit else about what Marcus is.
I'm Satara. This sweetheart is Josh, aka Hot Sauce.
Yo, you're Hot Sauce? Yeah, man, I loved your frat house hat. Real talk.
Thanks.
This weirdo's Wrench.
The needs of the many.
And this Casanova is Horatio.
What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
All right, so you see a couple things right from that scene, and this is one of the early scenes in the game. First, that this hacker group that you're a part of, Deadsec, is headed up by a woman of color, Satara, which is awesome. Number two is that Marcus quickly goes from complimenting somebody on this really famous hack to just giving Horatio the dopest black man handshake that I've seen in a game. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like the same way that like Barack Obama would like give handshakes, a little different to like the brothers that he sees, you know. So I was really, really happy to see just off that scene, they already showed that Marcus is an individual that has his nerd cred, knows how to hack, knows how to compliment folks, and is still down, you know what I'm saying? And that's what's really important and what they really knocked down in this game. Now let's go to some other ways how Marcus balances that out.
Your face is too dark for my sensors to read.
What? Bitch, I'm black and I'm proud. Tell your sensors to calibrate that.
I have no reference for black.
No, of course you don't. Conspiracy? And did he darken my picture? Hey, Ray, can you scrub this shit? If you wanted magic, maybe you should be watching me work.
Oh! Did Luke ride on Yoda's back? I think not.
I was always more of a Lando man myself. On the Millennium Falcon, ran Cloud City, blew up the second Death Star, killer mustache. That Blue guy got shit canned today. His password's no good.
My bad. Ha! Satara's selling day-old fish.
I'm relying on you out here, girl. I need up-to-date shit.
I said sorry.
Sheesh.
Doubts. Well, doubts is a strong word. I'm not as inspired as I used to be.
Jimmy, step up. Don't hide things from us. All right, keep your chin up. Peace.
All right, so like those were a couple of really awesome scenes from all throughout the game that just shows you like his like style. He can be playful. He does not necessarily code switch when he's with people in Deadsec, because even though he's one of the few black people in that group, along with like Horatio, I never see him trying to like not act black around them. Even the way that he talks to like a Satara, like, I'm relying on you, girl, I need up to date shit, was like really dope. You know what I'm saying? And in a lesser game, if the character wasn't that balanced, that same line would annoy me, because that would be the only way that character is represented. See Coltrane from Gears of War, but because they like have that nerd, cool, conscious balance, it just makes it all the more effective. The fact that he comments on the fact that the car can't read his skin color, and the fact that the people that are after him in the game actually darken his picture, you know what I'm saying? And we all know that happens, probably most famously with the O.J. Simpson case. It just touches on all these things that we deal with as people of color in this country, and just does it with effect, and does not make Marcus off too far in like one direction. So he's not only spitting stuff about being conscious and black, he's not only talking nerd shit, and like he's not only trying to be too cool for school. He's a blend of all those things, and that's what makes him really, really great. So now, speaking of great, let's go on to the other brother, Horatio. Now he is the man. Let's check out some Horatio.
Let's do this.
Hey. Yo, Horatio, man, I'm scared, bro.
Oh, what is it?
Nobody look like us.
Oh, man, welcome to Silicon Valley. Hey, what do you call a black man surrounded by thousands of white people?
What?
Mr. President?
Hey, man, they see two of us together, they gonna think we plotting.
We are plotting.
Man, I feel so exposed.
Hey,
Yeah, welcome to my world. There's only 3 other black people that work here. 2 guys, 1 woman. We have our own mailing list.
That's rough. But hey, you're fighting a good fight, changing the face of corporate life in the valley.
You haven't experienced corporate life until you're the only brother in a meeting and have to represent all of blackdom. Jesus. If I had a nickel for every time someone complimented me for being well-spoken.
That's so real. Let's go back to the video.
Carlin,
Brody?
big day today, huh? I'm excited. How about you? You could just tell us what you've been up to. Where you've been looking, who you've been talking
Trying to get
to.
some coffee.
What was that?
Just trying to get a coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. I'm sure you'll be more forthcoming with HR. Enjoy that coffee. Watch it! Are you new here?
Yeah.
Right now, I've got some code to code. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate everything you
Hey.
did for me.
For sure.
But right now, can you get the hell out of here? You're making people nervous. Oh, hey, did you try pomegranate? It was good, right?
So Horatio is the man. So he works in the kind of Google company in this game, which is called Noodle. And they have great conversations about being black in corporate America. You know what I'm saying? I've had a lot of those same conversations with people that I work with that are also of color. So I always wonder, like, for people that are not of color that are playing this game, if this is their introduction to those kind of conversations about being commented, that you're well spoken, about like being like the only black person, so it's making people nervous. All that kind of stuff is so real. Now, unfortunately, Horatio does not last that long in this game, and he's kind of taken out for really weird reasons. The way they get rid of him in this game is so unjustified and does nothing to further the plot. Like, you're already motivated by wanting to take down this Big Brother system. So by having, your friend die, not let alone like you're like the only other black person, just seemed like kind of like they were expecting you to have this big emotional kind of response, and then that would drive you and the character to go on and finish the mission, but really didn't. It just felt extraneous. So now that we saw some of the team and we saw Marcus himself, let's look at some of the other NPCs in this game, because they also do a good job of showing some of the social ills that affect a city like San Francisco. Specifically things like gentrification and things like transgender rights. So let us check that out.
Man, what's a brother gotta do? My insurance rates go up for no damn reason.
Check it out.
These guys are jacking up all the bills.
They're doing it to the whole neighborhood.
It's CTOS, motherfuckers. They want to outsmart the rent controls. They're forcing people to move so they can gentrify the place.
We gotta stop that shit.
And this visualization shows how they flag different areas as low risk, high risk, or lethal force authorized.
So these areas up in Oakland?
It's high risk.
That's gang territory, makes sense. Oh, but these...
That, my friend, is CTOS without any makeup.
Motherfucker. They're setting schools, clinics, stores as shoot on sight? That's subsidized housing. I mean, those people got priced out of San Francisco. Where the fuck else are they supposed to go?
You hold on to that anger, Marcus. We're gonna need it when we go after Blue.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
You're right.
Yeah, so really interesting, because while I've seen this thing touched on slightly in other games, I've never seen sort of the anger expressed behind it. The way that people feel in these communities. I mean, I've felt that when I've lived in different areas like Philly and in Harlem, where you see people get priced out and just have to move further and further out of the city where there's less resources. So I definitely identified with them on this, and I thought that it was a really interesting part to put in, because they didn't have to include that whole part in there. I feel like they specifically did that, to make his character more authentic and to connect you more with the struggle that Deadsec is doing in this game. It's not just hackers just like hacking shit because they want to, right? It's tied specifically to making the community better. So now let's move on to the transgender rape part.
What kind of trouble you in?
We're making trouble for the church.
We who?
Deadsec.
I knew it. I have friends that would love to put Deadsec behind bars.
Like a good fight? Hey, so did you.
Excuse me?
Oh, I watched you go toe-to-toe with New Dawn back in the day, but hey, I get it. You a councilwoman now.
No. You don't get to pull that I sold out crap on me. These assholes wreck lives on a weekly basis. They went public with videos of my surgeries. But here's the thing. I don't give a shit. I got nothing to hide. But you're right. I am a councilwoman now. My hands are tied.
That's why you asked me to meet you here. You need my help.
Looks like you need mine. What have you found?
Cops shooting suspects, planting evidence, stealing and lying and cheating the system just like the old days, only now CTOS is their alibi.
Operational discretion. Look, you bring me proof and I'll back your play. The OPD is changing, Marcus, believe me. For me and my friends, the community means everything.
Bullshit.
Change doesn't happen overnight. The department still has its problems, sure. It's got its reformers, too.
Who are you protecting, Miranda? The community or the police?
Mark.
Very powerful scene. So, Miranda is a, black transgender woman of color. Not only do you never see that in a game, regardless of what a game it is, except, and I'm not counting sort of the strippers you see in Grand Theft Auto and that kind of stuff. I'm talking about a nuanced, developed character that is a councilwoman that used to be a hacker, and that is kind of, not good or not bad, like just kind of going back and forth. That openly talks about things like her surgeries and saying, can I really trust your group because they, are known to hack other transgender people and expose them. you know. And the fact that this is a role that you would normally see go to a white character, right? So a white character would be the character in power that you have to go to and try to get them to vote a certain way, or talk to the leadership of the police department, which the OPD is, Oakland Police Department. So the fact that they chose not only a person of a color, but a person that is affected by so many intersections, and they talk about those intersections, I think was a really, really smart move. Bravo to Ubisoft for including a character like Miranda in this game, and not just giving her like a small bit part, you know what I'm saying? Like she's really a integral part to a lot of the missions in the game. And she was like voiced well, and you never really knew what her angle was, and I thought that like that was really cool. So it wasn't like they put this character here and like tried to make them a saint because they didn't want to offend people. They felt comfortable enough to give her the humanity that she deserves to be portrayed, in as nuanced a light as the rest of the main Deadsec characters. So excellent job. So now let's look at some of the other NPCs that, these are the kind of NPCs that were kind of in Watch Dogs 1, and they would have annoyed me if it was in isolation, kind of like how like earlier when like Marcus was like, girl, I need up to date shit, kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? Because of the balance, I don't mind it. So let's check out these other NPCs who, they're very weird, but you need some weirdness when you're portraying a city. So let's check them out.
I'm just going to give up.
What's wrong?
I'm a student at Oakland Advanced Tech. We entered Noodle's e-card challenge, and we just keep losing. We can't seem to beat the fancy schools, especially Stanford. They're backed by big companies with all kinds of tech. We're just Oakland. It's hopeless.
Hey, Oakland's got energy and grit. Oakland can get it done, man. I'm from Oakland.
I like the way you think.
Hey, so what's this about Bobo Days?
You know Bobo's working on a new album, right?
Yeah, I heard.
Well, you won't get to hear it? Motherfucker Gene Carcani just put millions on the table to keep it all to himself.
What does a big pharma CEO want with a rap album?
Dude has a huge Bobo collection.
Black man dancing. I called the cops on him.
Here's whatever you got. I don't know what you do. Stop. Yeah, you're bad. And you should pay.
Oh my god.
What'd I do?
Oh man. So first you get like the black nerdy kid that's like complaining about not having all the resources. And again, if this is something that appeared in isolation, I would probably be annoyed, you know what I'm saying? Because that's not a nuanced person, it's just, a bit character. If that was the only black person in the game, I would probably be like, why? You know what I'm saying? But that person balanced what all these other people do. Now, the second guy, the rapper, he just sounds completely ridiculous. Like, who voiced that guy? Just some random guy that you walk up to on the street and just starts talking about a rap album. Motherfucker, you ain't going to see this, motherfucker. It's just ridiculous. But again, it's balance, right? There are people like that in these cities, you know what I'm saying? That just sound ridiculous, And then, like, the last guy. So all these games that are in cities, not only Watch Dogs, you always find that the minority characters are always somewhere dancing. You know what I'm saying? Either they're freestyling on the corner, or they're dancing, or like they're like spray painting, or like something. So this was a good example of just another one of those guys that, again, if you was the only person, I'd be so annoyed. But there's a function where you can actually, call the cops on any character in the game that can serve as a distraction. So I called the cops on this guy just to see what would happen. And it quickly went from something that was funny to something that was actually sad, because you hear the guy say, like, what did I do? I mean, the guy was so frustrated, like almost like you could tell that it happened to him before, and then he just gets arrested and just perp walked away for no reason, So like that part of it was something that started out funny, but actually, kind of led to something that unfortunately in real life we see a lot, where we see people arrested for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Just because you fit you know, the description of some imaginary generic between 5'1" and 5'10", black, wears clothes and can see out of both his eyes. You know what I'm saying? Kind of description. Now, unfortunately, so we've talked a lot about the African American depiction, and we also saw some of the other folks that were not African American in Deadsec. Unfortunately, the game does not do a great job with people that are not African American, and I was really disappointed about this part of it, because as we know, San Francisco is a really big city that is super diverse and has a really strong Latino population and a really strong Asian American population as well. Unfortunately, the Latino population is limited to mostly this. Okay, so that was me in the FBI building. You know, you got to break into the FBI and go hack some stuff, and you can call a gang member to help you out. And all the Latinos in this game are gang members, every single one of them. And the only time you hear them talk is when they're talking about like pendejos, which is a slur, and you know, and like that kind of stuff. So they don't really do a good job of developing Latino characters in one of the biggest like Latino cities, you know what I'm saying, in the country. So I feel like that was a huge loss. You know, they really should have represented more on that level. As far as the Asian American characters, they do a better job, but it's not great. So let's check that out.
Thank you for banking with us, Miss Lee. Please retrieve your cash.
뭐? 캐나다 돈? 아, 이거 완전 엉터리 아니야? 이거 내 완전 돈 다 안 됐잖아.
Welcome back, Mrs. Kwan. How can I assist you today?
How about you contribute to the bake sale for sport equipment? Not you.
So off the bat, that's not bad, because usually most games with Asian American characters, you know, they like only have them speaking in a foreign language. So as low of a bar that is, I'm glad that they had two characters at the same kind of situation with the ATM hack, you know, actually look different and talk different and have different personalities. It's a small difference, but it's not one that I see in a lot of games that have Asian American characters in it. Now let's continue with the portrayal of Asian American characters in the game.
좋아, 좋아. 강력해 저기는 접속시켰나? 그게 어디? 누가 줘? 망할놈 좀 끄라고.
소지가 계속 상승합니다.
이도목을.
Hey, you know this guy?
死撚開仆街，我好忙啊。
Yeah, you're just full of attitude, aren't you? Look, I know the Auntie Shoe Boys are bringing them in. I'm trying to find out why.
No, I don't fucking know him. We don't all know each other.
Satara said...
I love it. I love it. So that first scene was when you actually hack into a data center on the other side of the world. I think it's Singapore, I believe. And I did not double check to make sure that the language that they're speaking is actually accurate. I'm going to assume it is. Probably a bad assumption. But the fact that they show you in an all Asian space and they introduce you to that language, I think is really, really cool. You know what I'm saying? Because I have the subtitles on, I can see what they're saying. And it's just really cool. I mean, it's something that you don't see in like a lot of these games, you know, is like not only having Asian American characters as a punchline, as you saw in the ATM machine, but actually have them doing dope shit. And then the second scene, the guy telling Marcus we don't all look alike, I feel like Marcus kind of brushed it off, but I feel like that's just really cool and a really nuanced look at how the intermingling of racial issues can come into play, right? So Marcus has this assumption that this guy knows this other random Asian guy just because he's Asian, you know? Now, in truth, Marcus got intel specifically for this guy because he knows about this like mission. But the fact that he responded in the way of saying we don't all look alike, I think has a lot of history and frustration behind it, because a lot of people that are not Asian do mistake Asian Americans for each other, and it's sad. You know what I'm saying? People mistake Chinese for Korean and like Japanese. You know what I'm saying? They just get them all mixed up, and that's not cool. And I feel like this statement really spoke on that, and that was really, really dope. Again, not something that they had to put in, but I'm glad that they did. Now, I'm going to end it. Usually I end with one funny things, but these open world games have so many funny things in them that I actually had 3 things. So the first thing is when you're taking a selfie in this game. So like there's a whole Foursquare app called Scout X, and you can go to locations and take selfies and get bonus points. So I'm a black dude going around San Francisco taking selfies, and sometimes the reaction I get from the mostly white characters in the background is just hilarious. So check this out.
What the hell?
Look at this guy in the background. Look at him ice grilling me, yo. I'm just taking a selfie and this dude is ice grilling me. And I'm telling you, that has happened to me. That is not a joke. That has absolutely happened to me before. So the second scene is when there's just a random fight in the street by a dude that almost gets ran over. I thought it was hilarious. Check it out.
What? Want me to tell you about my day? What about my week? I've had a shit day, and then you come along and make it worse. You can't even stop and apologize. Don't turn your back on me.
Get a hold of yourself.
The guy gets out the car and just parks in the middle of the street.
You want some of this? Ass, fucking ass.
That's enough. Doucheface.
I'm talking to you. Don't. Hey, what's wrong with you?
Where did you learn to fight?
And so what? I'm supposed to let everyone walk on the lawn?
He just slaps him right in the face. That is so funny because I mean I've seen people get out of cars and fight in the street. You know what I'm saying? So that is just hilarious to me. It's so funny. But note that guy's voice, because that voice actually comes up with 2 completely different people in the last clip, which is by far the funniest clip to me, at least. Check it out. So I'm trying to steal this car.
Sorry.
I get it, but the guy pulls me out. And then for some reason, these guys start fighting with the same voice as the other guys before. So they were friends, but the fact that the one guy saw him pull me out, it's like he almost thought he was carjacking me. So they start fighting. I hop in the car. Guy knocks the other dude out. I run him over and I'm out. So if y'all want to see more videos, make sure to follow me at Gaming Looks Good on Twitter, GamingLooksGood.com as well, and you can follow my personal account at Shareef Jackson. Once again, y'all, peace.
To the